What is going on YouTube? We're up here at my mom's old place, which is basically my brother's gonna be his place where he comes back to retire. And we're up here looking at the 1983 Honda XR200R. I did that long ride video that might have been boring to some people, but we're going to be going back out riding this a little bit in this video and talking about the 83 Honda XR200R and just a little bit of stuff, just shooting the shit. This is what we're doing on the channel right now. And I'm going to go a little tour in the garage and show a couple of the other toys that we have here. But, yeah, there's the Honda. And I'll give the little backstory of how I got this. And, you know, just a little story time with Mr. Dungeon. For anybody that's interested, anybody that's still watching the channel, know we haven't quit doing RC stuff. Oh, we're still doing RC stuff. But I've just been on a little spiritual journey, if you will. Been on a little trip to lose weight. I'm down almost 20 pounds already. I've lost. I went from like 220 down to right at 200 now, and I've got to drop a little bit more weight just to make it more user friendly for riding the bike. But yeah, we're going to do a little riding. I can't get much into the woods today because, you know, hunting season and stuff, even though it's kind of warm for hunting today. But, yeah, that's what we're doing. Using the DJI Action 4. Plus, I like playing with the camera. I'm going to take you a little walkie-loo around here and show you another project we're working on. That's another Honda. That's my brother's. And then we'll get into the 200, or the 200 XR. So, let's flip the camera around. We're going to go into, I'm going to call this the Moto Dungeon, because we got to fix a bunch of lights and stuff. This garage used to be hustling and bustling with all kinds of working on bikes and stuff, but since we've gotten older and things have happened in life, we kind of quit. But we used to ride and everything a lot. There's an old 230 Sport under that cover back here. That I used to ride the ass off of a long time ago. I bent the frame on the original one and we switched that motor over to another frame. I'm going to get ready to get that Kawasaki, that little Kawasaki running for my daughter. My son rode that KFX, that, you know, it's a little two-stroker, you know. I'm going to get that running for her to get her started riding. Just, you know, she's on video games and stuff too much. I don't want the same thing to happen to her that my son just wants to game all the time, so I want to get her out on a bike. That is my brother's 2001 Yamaha Banshee. You can't see it. But I'd like to get that running again. It's been sitting a lot. I think I had it running the summer before last. And then his project right now, because he's wanting a bike to play around on and ride around on, is a 200 Honda Fat Cat that has seen better days. Alright, so we're back out here to this is the 83. So this is the two valve engine with the single carburetor. And I've already went through, filled it up with gas, wreck fuel. If you guys got a bike, be nice to it. Put wreck fuel in it if you can get your hands on it. It's a higher test fuel, and it won't screw up your carburetors as bad as that new crap gas that they give. So, yeah, it's the old 2-valve. You know, makes about 19-20 horsepower, I think, from what my understanding is. It's a single carb. This thing, it's dirty now. It was all prettied up when my brother bought it up here. And I'm going to tell you a little story about it real quick here. So, what happened was, my brother, he went to I guess, what do you call those auctions that somebody passes away and they have a bunch of crap and they're selling it. So he went up there and they drug this bike out, which he says they didn't even know there was a bike back there. And we're walking around as we're talking. And anyhow, he ended up getting the bike and he got it for a pretty good deal. And of course, it had been sitting for like, you know, probably 20 some years. I don't know. It sat for a long time. This is the CDI model, so it don't have the points in it. But then this is the, I think, one of the first years for the Pro Link. So that's got the Pro Link suspension. So it's more of a, you know, it's not a motocross bike. It's a woods bike. But, you know, it's got the longer travel, the better suspension, blah, 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 blah. And it was in pretty good shape. It wasn't broke up. Handlebars are kind of wonky on it. I bought handlebars for it. My wife got me handlebars for Christmas. I bought some ODI OE bend bars because this bike fits me super well. It's even got the original tires. They weren't dry rotted. So it's got the original tires on it. I'm going to be picking up some, you know, probably some better tires for it and putting them back for when these are, you know, I'll buy tubes and tires for it and really clean it up when I start getting into it. I've just been enjoying riding it and getting back into riding again because, you know, I'm only 5'6" with boots on, so you know, it's hard for me to get on bikes. That was the reason why I never rode that much bikes back in the day. You know, I rode like a, I think my buddy had a Yamaha 100 little two-stroker, you know, one of the ones that don't really have a power band in it. It was an on and off. It may even have been an 80, I can't remember. We rode that a lot, and our other buddy jumped it and hit a tree and broke the frame on it. So we lost that bike to ride. And so anyhow, my brother got this bike, and I'm gonna turn the camera around back around here. So my brother got this bike, and he has a lot of leg injuries and stuff happened over the years, and he had trouble getting on and off on it. This bike, you know, he lowered it a little bit. It has been lowered a hair. It's sitting at about 34 inches in the middle, just, you know, about where you sit. So 34, 35 inches. I think it was cranked up like around probably 36, 37. And he had trouble getting on and off of it because of his leg injuries and whatnot. But anyhow, he brought this bike up here to the farm where we're at now. I call it the farm. You know, it's my mom's old place and property. Our brothers and I got a lot of acreage up here. It's a beautiful place. But yeah, he brought it up here, and I immediately, well, he wanted me to ride it, and I was like, no, because I don't fit dirt bikes very well. And so he finally goaded me into it, which didn't take much goading. And I got on it, rode it down the road, and I'm like, damn. So I come back, I went down the other way, and I was like, oh, damn. And I come back, and I went down the other way, and I was like, oh, man. And I come back, and I'm like, man, this thing runs for 200. Holy smokes, this thing will crank. You know, I ain't trying to tear it up. I mean, I've had it like 65, getting close to 70, a little over 65. I was very taken aback at the power this thing made, because, you know, people say 200, and they're like, 200. But man, this thing is super nimble. It's easy to ride. You can toss it around. We got traffic. It's just a blast to ride, man. Even if you're not really a bike guy, it's just, here comes the wind. So we were sitting on the porch, and he was like, well, he was thinking about getting rid of it. And I was like, oh, man. Because I knew if it was here, I'd be riding it. And turn the camera up a little bit. And we got to talking and bullshitting, and I was like, well, how much do you want for it? And I knew in the back of my mind that my wife was already hitting me. Maybe not physically, but verbally. She hits me with words.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will hurt forever.
And we were sitting there talking, and we kind of thought about a price. And I was like, I can't really turn that down. So I went back down the road on it, and I rode it again. Then I come back, and I'm like, I'm going to buy it, even though my wife's gonna hit me. And She did. She verbally abused me.
I think we might have a domestic abuse situation here.
But I was like, I can't pass this up. You know, I'm 43. My window's going to be closing for riding, you know, this kind of stuff after a while. And I'm like, I just wanted to ride it. And my wife was like, it's a midlife crisis. And I was like, no, it's not a midlife crisis. I've always rode. I've always had race bikes. We've had, you know, 400DXs. I had a 450 Yamaha. You know, I've always rode. But, you know, I'm like, man, I want to get back into riding. And, you know, I'm real big into the RC hobby. And things in the RC hobby, you know, people have just become major douchebags. You know, it's kind of shitty. And I'm like, man, this is kind of peaceful and relaxing. Just going out, ripping around, riding, coming back to the house, chilling out, you know, and going back out and riding, because there's a lot of places up here on the farm to ride. And the bike is really nimble in the woods. We went out riding, like I said, my brother's birthday weekend ride. I put that video up. Only about half of that, not even probably half of it got videoed, because my battery on this camera died, which I've since now picked up more batteries. But, you know, the wife hit me a bit verbal with words, and, you know, but it is what it is, and I wanted it, and I got it. So that's how I got the bike. And my brother went through this thing. Let's turn the camera back around. So, from my understanding is he had to replace the back brakes on it because they basically fell apart. You know, he did carburetor work on it. He put a new, I believe it's a unifilter in the air box. I think it's a uni. I'm not sure. I think the sticker might be on the other side over here. Yeah, I think he put a new unifilter in it because the filter was junk. It even still has the original bag on the back, which you don't ever see that. It took a lot of work for him to get that apart and clean it without tearing it up. And he adjusted the suspension up on it. Fork seals are good. They're not leaking. Rear shock's still good on it. I don't think there was a lot of time on it. When it came up here, it had like 80 miles on the... But I found out that that's like a trip meter. So I've put right around... I've rolled it over already. I've probably put like probably close to 2-3 full tanks of fuel through this thing. But the bike was just, you know, it was in such good shape. Chain and sprockets were good. I'm going to go ahead and pick up an extra set of sprockets and a chain and put them here in the garage to have them. And I really need to clean it up because I've just been riding it, man. I mean, I've really been riding it and enjoying it. So everything works on it, you know. It's not an on and off, or it's not an on and off. It's just a, you know, a dirt bike. So it does got the headlight and the tail light and everything works on it. But this thing rode like it was brand new. So it has a skid plate protector underneath of it still. So yeah, it's coming up on an oil change already because I've been riding it a lot. It's time for an oil change. I just went through it, checked the oil and all that stuff. It doesn't leak any oil. Riding it in the woods and you're putting around like we did on my brother's birthday weekend, I did notice like it has a little bit of a gas smoke. It puffs out because I noticed it doesn't like that super slow chugging through the wood stuff. But my son went with us, so I couldn't, you know, I had to keep it cleaned out the best I could. But this thing almost always starts first kick, man. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the camera switched around here. We're going to get this thing started up, and we're going to run it. These things are cool how the decompression release. So the decompression release works with the kicker. I thought that's pretty cool. You see that moving right there? I don't know if the camera's picking it up. It moves with the kicker, how the decompression release works on these Hondas. I thought that was pretty neat. It don't have a cable pull or anything, or you know, a handle to flip up for the decompression release. I thought that was cool how Honda incorporated that in there. I hear they're a pain in the butt if they quit working. Also, the kicker shaft strip out on these things, so I'm super careful about kicking it when I'm first starting it up. So yeah, let's get on it here. We'll set the camera up and I'll get on it and we'll give it a go, getting it running, and let it warm up, and we'll take it for a little blast. Maybe do some side road running. Nothing too major, because like I said, people do hunt, so I want to try to stay out of the woods. You know, I'd like to take it back up when we were at before and do some woods riding, but I know there'll be, because there's hunting camps back there. But there's the tag for the 1983. I don't know if the camera will pick it up or not, but yeah, so let's get this thing started. It's all factory stock as far as I know, but boy, she cranks out really nice for a factory stock bike. So let's get her running. All right, so there she is. Couple kicks, fired right up, no choke. It's cold today. We'll let her warm up. She sounds good. Still got the baffles and everything in it too. But yeah, take it out, do some riding. Nothing crazy. I'm wondering if there might be something done to this engine, just because for a 200, man, it's got some compression. I've kickstarted over some bigger bikes, and you get this thing up on the compression stroke when she gets fuel in her, and it kicks pretty good. So I'm gonna get some gloves and my helmet and stuff on, and we'll go out and do some riding. Nothing crazy. Like I said, I want to let it warm up. She's pretty quiet down here in the motor. Got a little bit of timing chain noise, but most of these Hondas, when they get some miles on them, do. Not bad, and it might be normal. I don't really know. But she's warming up a little bit now. Idle's coming up on it a little bit. So yeah, let's get on her. Get some riding. Alright, so let's get her fired back up and we'll take a little bit of back road trips with it. It's kind of cold. So let's see what we got here. Sorry, it's the handlebar mount. I'm still working on getting a helmet cam mount. fix our camera. First, second, first. Woo! There's a hill climb to get up, back up out of this. You probably wouldn't be able to tell, but we came down a pretty steep incline, so I'm gonna have to rip it a little bit to get up to the road. So apologies if the camera's jumping around. I got 3 pairs of gloves on, so my hands keep going to sleep because I'm having trouble keeping up on the grips and everything with 3 pairs of gloves. So let's get our camera adjusted. Alright, we got our camera adjusted. It's a lot steeper than it looks on camera. Okay, not going up on the hill. We got the JK parked in the way. This is my other brother's place. I don't think he's home. He must be driving the TJ today. I'm an idiot. I'm in neutral. Put the visor up. So, that's our 1983 XR200R little ride. I'm still getting back into riding. This is the ILM helmet. I need to get some goggles. Blast shield steams up a little bit. So, head sweating. So, yeah, battery's going dead. I got some stuff I got to do at the house up here at my brother's. I may include, I'm gonna probably take another trip down the back road. And yeah, I'm still getting used to riding, as you all can tell probably. But I'm gonna get another battery put in the Action 4, and maybe I'll film some other stuff. This neck gaiter thing was kept my neck pretty warm, because last time my neck got kind of cold. So anyhow, maybe get some more riding footage in this video. I don't know. If not, peace.